What is going on YouTube? Welcome to the channel. My name is Fareed and this is going to be another episode of the Cardano Scoop. Now, as a part of today's video, we're going to be breaking down general Cardano updates and reviewing some quick stats about the daily usage as well as the Plutus smart contracts that we currently have on Cardano. We're also going to talk about Cornucopias and some NFT mints as well as partnerships that they've just announced to the community, as well as JPG.store. We're going to be reviewing some of their latest innovations and updates that they've just released. And then towards the end of this video, we're going to be talking about Genius Yield and their upcoming public sale, as well as MELD and the launch of their public testnet and their ongoing 25 days of MELD. And then at the very end of this episode, we're going to wrap up by talking about VyFi and the recent release of their updated staking vaults. Now, if it's your first time here, I aim to provide you guys in the community with the latest news, tutorials, and reviews when it comes to the top projects building on Cardano. And so if that interests you, please make sure to tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments about anything that's covered as a part of today's video, then please make sure to leave a comment down below. The first topic I want to talk about in today's video is going to be the recent increase that we've seen when it comes to the brand new wallets that we've seen created on Cardano. And so in my last Cardano Scoop update, I highlighted that we saw a huge increase in brand new wallet creation, which hit at an all-time high about 10,000 wallets per day during the FTX collapse. Again, I think a lot of that was driven by the narrative to get your crypto off of centralized exchanges. And as we can see, that kind of cooled off a little bit up until about last week. So we had a huge rebound again, where we saw the total wallets being created, which was sitting at around about 1,800, which was the expected number, then sharply shoot all the way up to about 6,000 wallets being created per day. We've since kind of cooled off since then, and we're now at about 4,000 brand new wallets being created per day. Now, if we take a look at how that compares to the beginning of August, as you guys can see here, we are clearly at about a 2x now since then. So I'm really happy to see this particular metric, and I'll be keeping a close eye on this moving forward. The next update I want to talk about is going to be the number or the total number of Plutus V1 scripts on the blockchain. And so as a part of my last update, we had just broken the 4,000 smart contract range. Now keep in mind that these are going to be the Plutus V1 scripts, which do not take advantage of the Vassal hard fork updates. Those are going to be referred to as the V2 version of the Plutus smart contract. So looking at that here, in about 2 to 3 weeks, we've had a sharp increase again in regards to the Plutus V1 scripts, and we're now at about 4,400 total scripts as a whole. Moving over into the next update, I want to talk about the unique account growth on Cardano dApps. And so as we can see here, we've got some of the top projects within Cardano, and then on the right hand side we have the 5-day change and percentage when it comes to unique accounts interacting with those different platforms. Now, number one is going to be Dapp, which is going to be a marketplace. Keep in mind, though, that while they're number one, they only had a total unique amount of accounts of 31. Right below that, we have Flipper.io, which is also a brand new marketplace, and they had a 100% increase. Now, one of the notable mentions that I want to highlight here, which is a project that I cover here pretty greatly on the channel, is going to be MELD. And as you guys can see, they had a 60% increase in brand new accounts collaborating or interacting with the protocol, and that was a total of 13,000 accounts. So that's really good news there. We also have the likes of Fluid Tokens, which actually just released their updated Plutus V2 compatible testnet, which I'll be covering in a separate video, and they had a total increase of additional 591 accounts. Similarly, we have SpaceBuds, Explosive, and Epoch.art, which are all marketplaces seeing a huge influx when it comes to brand new account growth. Now that is going to wrap it up there when it comes to the initial portion of this video in which we talk about the general Cardano development updates. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is another project that I cover here quite often, which is going to be the Cornucopias game. Now, if you guys don't know Cornucopias, they're going to be a play to earn, learn to earn, and build to earn metaverse building on Cardano. And what we've seen is that they've just launched 2 separate NFT sales, and we have a third one right around the corner. So the first NFT sale was for the Farmer Joe bobblehead, and this was a holiday specific NFT, and this was actually a test mint. And so this was to make sure that the Cornucopias team could actually use their platform to receive the Copy token, which is their native token, as a part of the NFT marketplace. So this was a huge update, not only for their marketplace, but just for Cardano as a whole, right? I'm not necessarily sure that there's too many other places or too many other projects right now that allow for payments of NFTs, right, using their own native token. And so that was really good there to see. But then in addition to that, the Cornucopias team has recently struck a collaboration with the Cheeky Crypto platform. Now, the Cheeky Crypto team also has access to Cryptopia. And so if you actually participated in this particular sale, you would actually now have the ability to use that NFT in order to gain access to future VC sales as a part of the Cryptopia VC platform. Now that said, I did participate as a part of this NFT sale, which took place early this morning, in which we saw about 7,000 NFTs go up for sale. Now granted, not all of them sold out, and so they will actually be burning the remaining supply. But I did want to just give you guys a heads up that this was a super smooth mint, and I was able to actually pay for the mint using my Copy token. So again, not only has the Cornucopias team built out their own marketplace from scratch with anti-bot features, as well as an awesome queuing feature to make sure that everybody has a fair chance to participate in their sales, but they're also now going to be accepting the Cornucopias token as a form of payment. The very last thing I want to mention when it comes to Cornucopias is going to be their recent collaboration with MELD. Now, MELD is another project that I cover greatly, and we're actually going to be talking about MELD here in just a minute. But this particular partnership was a huge one that I was expecting for quite a bit of time. I had the pleasure of meeting Rob Gregg and Josh Jones, who are the two co-founders at Consensus, as well as Ken Oling, who is the CEO of MELD at Consensus as well. During my time there, I just essentially asked both of them if they would be having collaborations, and at the time they couldn't really share too much information, but it looks like they are now officially able to do so. And so I'm going to leave the link to this particular Copy Cafe down in the description below, and I highly recommend that you guys listen to them yourselves. There's just so much information that they are providing as it relates to this particular partnership. Now, to give you guys the quick update or the summary of their collaboration, MELD will essentially be supporting the Cornucopias token as a part of their crypto to crypto platform, and Ken also alluded to the fact that the Cornucopias token could essentially be used on their MELD credit card, or excuse me, on their MELD debit card. Now, on the Cornucopia side of things for the actual collaboration, they did confirm that they will be supporting bubble jet wraps for the MELD project. Now, we haven't actually seen what the actual bubble jet wraps will look like, but I do believe that it will look like the Liberty Red that we have for the MELD logo. It'll just be essentially a wrap for your bubble jet. I'll be keeping you guys posted as they release some pictures, hopefully within the next coming weeks or potentially the next coming months. That is going to wrap it up for updates on Cornucopias. Moving along, if you guys are enjoying this video so far, I would really appreciate it if you guys could tap that like button. It's going to help to get this content out to other viewers within the Cardano community. Thank you very much. Moving forward, I want to talk about JPG.store and all of the updates that we've just seen them release over the course of the last week. Now, if you guys don't know JPG.store, I would actually be very surprised, but they're going to be the leading NFT marketplace right now on Cardano in terms of volume. So there's going to be three specific updates I want to highlight. The first is going to be the support of quick wallets using credit cards. And so if you want to purchase an NFT, you no longer are tied to only paying with ETH. You can now pay directly using a credit card. Now, if you pay with the credit card, what the JPG.store team will do is essentially create a paper wallet for you. And then once you actually purchase that, they'll send it over to you. And then you can actually claim it through that paper wallet. Now, it says here you can make a purchase using any credit card supported by Winter, who is the team that they're going to be collaborating with to support credit cards. And then after that, as a part of step 2, you can access your items using a secure email link to a private custodial wallet. And then you can transfer your items out of that wallet at any time or gift them to a friend. The next update that's coming to JPG.store is going to be a feature that I personally was looking for quite a bit of time. So as you guys already know, the JPG.store team released the offers feature about 3 months ago. And so this allowed for potential bidders to put in offers for buyers. Now that said, as a buyer, you never had the opportunity to essentially counter offer. All you could do was either accept or decline whatever incoming offers or bids you had on your NFTs. However, that is going to be a thing of the past. And so it says here, the community has asked and the JPEG Store team has answered. You can now counter offer on JPEG Store directly from the asset page itself or on your profile page under the offers tab. Again, while these might seem like very small updates, they are quality of life things that I believe are actually keeping a lot of the volume and a lot of the people within the community staying on the JPEG.store platform. So it'll be interesting to see if other platforms or marketplaces also start to incorporate some of these features to kind of catch up to the competition. The very last update from the JPEG.store team was actually made just a few hours ago, and I definitely want to say that this is probably the most important update so far. So you can now buy Cardano NFT, you guys, using Ethereum as well as Solana. This is so huge in terms of adoption, but it also is so huge in just showing the other blockchains that Cardano is so welcoming to them as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just quickly show this off to you guys here in just a second. But in order to take advantage of this particular feature, all you need to do is find the NFT you wish to buy and then select from the drop down either to use a credit card, right, which I just talked about. But then on top of that, you can now select Ethereum or Solana. Now on the Winter page, so again, they're going to be collaborating with Winter, so huge shout out to them for what they're bringing to Cardano. You can connect your ETH or Sol wallet and then select the Cardano wallet that you want this NFT to be delivered to. And then the very last thing you need to do is just go ahead and sign the transaction. So that said, I'm going to jump over into this page here, which is the actual marketplace. And I'm now looking at the MELD Diamond Hand NFT. And as we can see here, I can buy with ADA, which is the default. Alternatively, I can buy with a credit card, or I can buy with Sol or Ethereum. So that's going to wrap it up there for the updates as it comes to what the JPEG.store.team continues to develop. Moving along, the next update I want to talk about is going to be the Genius Yield public token sale. Now, this is a project that I also follow very closely, and I actually just released a video diving deeper into this article that I'm going to be talking about here in just a moment. And so if you guys want to find out more about Genius Yield, make sure to use the playlist link that I'm going to be leaving down in the description below. Now, about 2 weeks ago, we saw the official launch of the Genius X Launchpad, and as the first project that they're going to be hosting for token sales, we have none other than the Genius Yield token. And so as you guys can see here, we have all of the 4 rounds of the Genius Yield public token sale, and the 4th round, which is actually open to the general public as long as you undergo KYC, is officially available. Now there's only 11 hours remaining, and once this wraps up, they're going to move over into the token distribution phase. Now, once the tokens are actually distributed, they're now going to open up the Genius Yield staking app, where you can then take your brand new tokens and actually stake them for additional passive income. Now, as I mentioned before, I have a fully dedicated video, which I'm going to leave a link to down in the description below. But as a part of this staking feature, they're going to open multi-vaults, and you'll also be able to stake your Genius Yield NFTs, which include the ISPO NFTs as well as the mascot NFTs. Now, support for the Genius Yield ISPO NFTs will begin, I believe, in early January once they actually start distributing their ISPO rewards to their ISPO delegators. But that's going to wrap it up there for updates as it pertains to Genius Yield. The next project that I want to highlight is going to be the MELD project, which I mentioned before is going to be a DeFi lending and borrowing protocol building on Cardano. And so in the Christmas spirit, the MELD team officially launched their 25 days of MELD, which I've been covering every single day on my channel. So if you guys want to find out more about the 25 days of MELD, make sure to check out my link down in the description below. But to kind of summarize everything, they're going to be announcing brand new partnerships, collaborations, and they're also going to be giving away 150,000 of the MELD tokens. That said, we saw the MELD team integrate a bunch of Web 2 specific platforms, and I'm going to highlight some of my favorites so far, which include Web3auth.io, which is going to be a single sign-on solution. Think of, for example, like when you navigate to a particular website and you can integrate or sign in through Google, Facebook or your Apple ID, it'll basically be the same thing. However, when it pertains to MELD, you'll be able to essentially sign in with a Google account or something of that nature. And then essentially on the back end, there's going to be a Web3 wallet associated with your Web2 sign-on to essentially make it simple for people who don't want to mess with keeping track of their wallets and seed phrases and things of that nature. Now, MELD is also going to be moving towards a brand new multi-chain narrative. And I'm actually going to leave another link to a separate video, which was an AMA by the MELD team, in which they essentially highlighted all of the coming changes when it comes to additional partnerships outside of the Cardano ecosystem. That said, they're going to be collaborating with Kyber Network, which is going to be a cross-chain liquidity provider for DeFi lending and borrowing protocols. And so this is going to be huge for bringing brand new liquidity as well as brand new users from outside ecosystems into MELD and Cardano. Now, I do also want to highlight that MELD will be building on other blockchains as well. And the only hint that we've got from Ken Oling, who is their CEO, is that they plan on building on another EVM sidechain. Now, we did see that they struck a partnership with Avalanche in regards to the Akamon bridge. And so they will be participating or collaborating with the AVAX blockchain for the bridge. And so we could potentially see them also move over there and actually start building because of that connection that we saw there earlier. Now, I do want to be clear that that is speculation that has not been confirmed. So definitely do take that with a grain of salt. But those are my 2 cents on what we could potentially see as it relates to that. Now, earlier today, the MELD team also confirmed that they will be hosted or partnering with the multi-chain app. Now, multi-chain is going to be a bridge platform that basically allows for tokens to be moved over from one blockchain to another in a seamless fashion. Now, do keep in mind that the MELD team will not be upgrading their total token supply. All that's going to be happening is that as you move your token from one blockchain to another, it's going to be locked up and then essentially minted on a separate blockchain. And then whenever you want to come back, the opposite's going to happen, where the tokens will be locked up on the other chain that you were coming from and then unlocked back on the original chain. Now, the last partnership I want to confirm is going to be a collaboration with the Arculus cold storage wallet. And so this particular wallet is going to support other assets, right, such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other tokens. Now, that said, they will also support a debit card very similar to what MELD will be providing to the community. So I do believe that you'll be able to load up their card as well, right, with the MELD token, and then actually be able to spend that on everyday items and purchases, just like we hope to see with the MELD debit card. The last update I want to talk about as a part of today's Cardano Scoop is going to be the V2 release of the VyFi staking vaults. Now, if you've never heard of VyFi before, they're going to be a lending and borrowing protocol very similar to MELD, also building on Cardano. And I have an in-depth interview with Stephen Ward, who is their CEO. And as we can see in their last Twitter post, they confirmed that the V2 staking vaults have officially launched. And so earlier we saw that the total supply of the V1 Plutus contracts was sitting at about 4,500 total contracts. And they're now taking advantage here of the V2 versions. And so the tweet reads, "These new vaults enable other projects to provide staking for their own native tokens as well as NFTs, and the vaults will now share one single page with selection options added to help organization," and those are highlighted here in the screenshot. So you can now filter by NFTs, tokens, or you can view the combination of both, and then you can also filter by a specific project. That is going to wrap it up for today's Cardano Scoop. I know I kind of shifted through those updates quite quickly, but I do want to just note that there's been so many updates that it's been a little bit hard to keep up with. So in the future, I'll be releasing these Cardano Scoop videos a little bit more frequently. That said, if you guys enjoyed today's video in which we talked about general Cardano updates, the Cornucopias game, JPG.store, Genius Yield, MELD, and VyFi, again, then please make sure to give me a huge thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, then leave those down below. I will see you guys in the next video.